All right, so good evening, everybody. We're going to start with this class. I'm sure that you're going to be joining the class, all right, later on. I'm going to verify that I'm in the right meeting just in case. But yes, all right, so we finished, of course, the second unit last week. You had your oral presentations, they were very good. I think we're doing it great, all right? This is a new week, a new unit. And as I told you, these last weeks are going to be about the structure of the oral presentations. And to have a specific structure, we're going to work with two international tests. This week, we're going to we're going to work with the TOEFL, right? And we're going to talk about details that you need to know about it. It's not going to be 100% like it is on the TOEFL, but of course, it's something that you can apply for sure, and that is going to help you with your speaking, your fluency, and so on and so forth. Also, I've noticed some things that each of you needs to work, all right? And I'm going to give you special exercises to do that. Perhaps we're going to do that on the sessions, all right? In the sessions that we have. If I notice that you need to work with tenses, we're going to work with exercises related to that. Okay, I'm going to be asking you the first 10 seconds, only give me present sentences, right, or ideas, then change immediately to past, then to future, and we're going to be playing like that so that you can make that switch, all right, very fast, the switch in a faster way. If I notice that paraphrasing is something that you're not doing very good, because you're reading a lot or you are accustomed to using someone else's information or something like that, then we're going to be practicing paraphrasing. And that's just working in the way we were doing it, right? Listening to something and I'm going to make you, right, give me a summary. That's the best way to do it, but I'm going to add some extra things so that you can improve that. Okay? So if you also feel that you are lacking something, let me know. We're going to add some exercises to practice that aspect, but I think that I identified some important elements that all of you need to work. Remember that you have to also check this document in which I wrote down, right, all the mistakes that you had in terms of pronunciation, the use of vocabulary, expressions, conjugation, and so on and so forth. You're not here yet, but I'm going to take advantage of this time and I'm going to read all these words and I'm going to try to explain again why they were incorrect and you can do it next time. Okay, so for example, Melanie is the first one over here. This one is going to be, remember that we're talking about the standard pronunciation and we are inclined towards the American English. So comfortable, right? Comfortable. So evolution is all the time now. So evolution happens all the time, right? I think I made past, right, a mistake. The entire world has changed, right? Conjugation. They've grown without technology. It can be present perfect or it can be simple past. They grew up without technology. A lot of people couldn't have, because the tense, right, couldn't have the opportunity to have them. They were not used to using them or to using it, right? This is accustomed to and then gerund. Because in that case, that to is not the infinitive, that to is preposition. And you need you need gerunds after preposition. All right. Then you have classes also were changed, right? Changed with that at the end. The university is also thinking in the future of this and that. If you don't have as I would say, right, as I, that this is going to replace that how, right? That context is not correct. The most important thing is getting in touch with, because if you're going to use one activity, one action as well, activity or noun, you have to use gerund, right? That was Melanie's. I'm going to take advantage that you're here now, Stefania, and we're going to work with your words, all right? Remember that you have only 2 words for pronunciation. I think, oh, my camera is there. Okay, I don't see myself. All right, there am I. So you only have 2 words for pronunciation, and you have a little bit more for conjugation, expression, and vocabulary, all right? Let's begin with these 2 words. Let's read those 2, please, Stefania.
Okay, teacher, good evening.
Hello.
Also, those are in green.
Oh, yes, you're right. I was forgetting about this one. To delete these words, let's read them as well, please, because if not, they are going to stay there. Let's
Okay.
read these ones, actually. The ones in green first.
Okay. Variety studies are increased.
Very good. Great. Let me change the color. Great. And what about these expressions over here?
You're more, no, you are likely.
Okay, good.
Yes. One member of your family has.
There you go. Right. Very good. That's it then, related to that. Then you don't have any more words over there. Let's go to the new ones. What about these 2 words?
Okay. The first, draw and messy.
Okay, there you go. Those are going to be green. And what about these ones? I'm going to be selecting one by one. This one over here.
To have your notes separate. I think it's separated with ed.
Okay, separated and divided. Very good.
Yes.
This one.
When you are listening to something, right?
Very good, exactly. The
Okay.
preposition. This one.
Taking notes helps you.
Great. The next one, please.
If your notes are boring.
Very good, exactly. When you describe an object, right, it's very likely that you're going to use ing instead of ed. Great.
Okay. Things from around the house that okay, things that don't belong to your home.
Okay, very good. The next one, please.
You make a schedule. Yes, schedule, right?
Only
Not schedules. Okay.
there you go. The next one.
The most probably like the other one, it's a most probable, or maybe it's more likely,
Okay,
but
very
not
good.
probably.
There you go.
I think is if we follow this advice.
Exactly. Do you remember why? It's correct. It's going to be green. Do you remember why we say only advise and not advices?
I think advice is not accountable, so I need to add pies of advices, or only say this advice.
Very good. There you go. That's it. Great, Stefania. Now, before that one, I already checked everything. All right, it's in the platform. I think everything was very well done. I don't know if you have any questions related to these words or related to the previous content, Stephanie. Let me know.
No, teacher, everything
Okay.
clear.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So we're going to start the class with you. Okay. Well, I hope your partners are going to be here soon. In the meantime, let's continue and let's start with this presentation. All right. We are going to work with TOEFL and we're going to be practicing a lot here. This time you're going to have a specific or way to organize your presentations. We call this here organizing oral presentations with the TOEFL structure. Why? Because we're going to try to follow what you do in the TOEFL in the speaking section to do the same in the 10 and following to that, the 15 minutes that you're going to use with your oral presentations, all right? But today and Wednesday are going to be to practice the way you would do it in the TOEFL. I don't know how much you know about the TOEFL. I don't remember if you told me that you already took this test or if you're familiar with this, Stefania. You're not. Do you know something about the TOEFL?
No, teacher.
Okay. Have you ever heard about any other international tests or the way they work?
Yeah, I heard, but I don't know how is the organization or the modality. I don't know.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Stefania. It's okay, because actually this is going to help you even improving your speaking skills. All right, you have very, very good speaking skills, but perhaps if you want to be more fluent or there is something that you want to improve on, these kind of exercises, I think the TOEFL ones are very, very good to do this. Why? Because you have a very limited time to say many things, and you need to learn how to organize your ideas quickly. All right, because many people, they speak very well when they are prepared. All right, and when they have learned certain things, but when they have to improvise or paraphrase, they get lost, and it's normal. All right, it's something that happens. So to avoid that, it's very important to learn how to think faster and how to act faster. And this is going to be one thing that we are going to do. To see how you're doing before going to the explanation, Stefania, if you want to check this also by yourself, in classwork, unit 3, right, it's the unit we're going to work now, you only have one presentation, that is this one, but you have one extra web page. That is one web page in which you can find many types of questions that the TOEFL has, or at least it used to have. I think it changed a little bit, but some of those questions are still being asked in that test. The type of question we're going to be dealing with is this type of question, all right, the paired choice. And this is actually going to be the way you are going to present your next oral presentation, Stefania, because you're going to decide between two things. And you need to compare those two things. And you're going to follow a specific pattern for the introduction, the development, and the conclusion. And questions are like this. Actually, yes, let's start with the first one. Read this question, please, Stephanie.
Okay. Do you prefer to study at home or in a library? Provide specific details to support your explanation.
Good. Library, right? Or in a library. Okay. So study at home or in a library. That's something that you need to answer, and we're going to practice that now. Look, we're going to follow the exact time that you would have in the TOEFL. You're going to have 45 seconds, okay? First, I'm going to give you 15 seconds to think of first your answer. What is going to be?
Teacher, I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. No. Nothing.
I see that my microphone is there, Stefania.
No,
yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. I think it was my internet connection because I got the message over there. But can you hear me now? You can, right?
Yeah, yes, teacher.
Okay, good. So again, first, I'm going to start the timer, Stefania, and you're going to have 15 seconds to think first. What is going to be your answer? And immediately after giving your answer, you have to give me explanations of why you think that's the best option by giving me supporting ideas and examples if possible. And before finishing the 45 seconds, you have to give me a short conclusion in the way you believe you can do it. Okay, I'm not giving you any structure, but that one. In this presentation, we're going to learn how to do what I'm telling you. But first, I want to know how you would do it. Okay, let's try. Okay. First 15 seconds, you don't have to tell me anything, just think. Okay, and it's going to be also the same for you now that you're here, Carolina. We're practicing with the TOEFL structure. This is the main question. Do you prefer to study at home or in a library? You're going to have 15 seconds to think of your answer and your possible supporting ideas. And then I'm going to give you 45 seconds to give me your whole answer. All right?
Good evening, teacher. It's okay. Thank you. Sorry for the delay.
Okay, don't worry. Good evening. Great. So 15 seconds. Don't say anything. Just think. Okay? Just think. Okay, that's it. Now, we're going to start with you, Stefania. I know that you, Carolina, you have some experience with the TOEFL. Is that correct?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. So, you may know what to do with this one. But then let's start with you, Stefania. Then we're going to go to Carolina. We're going to see how you both structured your answers. And then we're going to learn how to do it in an effective way, using time to control every part that you should use. Okay, now you have 45 seconds. And remember, if you see my screen, right? If you see 40 seconds, try to think of your short conclusion, Stefania, because 45 seconds and you need to stop. And it's better if you stop, not in a abrupt way, right? It's better if you stop like slowly. And that's why, right, I believe that this is the best idea, period. Okay, so let's begin. You have 45 seconds starting. You start speaking and I'm going to start, but starting now. Start, please, Stephanie.
Okay, I prefer to study at home because I feel more comfortable in my house, because I think sometimes in the middle of my study I need to go to the bathroom, or maybe to eat something, like a break. And I think it is very important to be in a place that you could do everything you want. And I think it's better to study at home, because your house is more comfortable.
Great. Thank you very much. Good. Good. I have to say it was very good. All right. You were able to mention many interesting facts. You were able to organize that in an interesting way. You're going to compare what you did with what we're going to do. But first, before going further and giving you any more details, now you're going to listen to your partner, all right, Estefania, to Carolina. And I think that you, Carolina, were listening to Estefania. Then you're going to give me your opinion on your partner's answers. All right, and you're going to tell me, I think she did it very good because of this, or I think she didn't do this and it was very important, and so on and so forth. All right, so the same with you, please, Carolina. Then, Estefania, let's pay attention to Carolina and let's see the differences that you may notice. You may begin now, please, Carolina.
Okay, teacher. Well, I prefer to study in my home too. I feel this way for two reasons. First, as Stefania said, I think it's more comfortable to study in my home because you have access to the bathroom. Maybe you can put music, and also in a library, you can speak louder for respect to the other people, but in your house you can. And second, I think it's more comfortable because I think you have the other resources, for example, internet and Wikipedia, and maybe you can search for other information if you don't have enough in your books.
Great. There you go. Thank you very much, Carolina. Great. Very good. Now, I noticed that you have some experience over there, right, because of your introduction and some other details. That's very good. Now we're going to compare. First, I want to know, and I want you to exchange ideas. So first, the question is going to be for you, Carolina. What do you think about Stefania's answer? In a certain way, you don't have to be analytic, but in a certain way, what would you recommend to her? And then you're going to tell me, Stefania, what you noticed in Carolina's answer. And also you can give some recommendations if you want. So what do you say first, Carolina?
Well, I think Tefa did really good. I think for her first time, she organized her ideas in a really good way. Maybe I could advise her that use some introduction, some connectors. I think that's something that the teacher said us a lot when I was taking the TOEFL course. And that's why I use first, for example. I think maybe if you have a short time, you can connect with that ideas. I think it's easier to say in just without connectors.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And that's great advice. Why? Because here we're going to learn about that as well. We're going to learn some specific connectors to, right, mention the introduction, the development of our ideas, and also the conclusion. Very well. I want to know now your opinion on Carolina's work, Stefania. What do you think about her answer? If you have any observations or something that you can mention, let us know, please.
I think Carol did very well. She said important points, and I think each person studies in a different way. I don't know, she did very well.
Okay, thank you very much, Stefania. Great. Now, we're going to try to, here, all of us are going to improvise, paraphrase, okay? We don't have anything prepared even. I'm going to work with you and I'm going to make mistakes with you, perhaps. We're going to do this together. Why? Because it's important to see that and how you can face and deal with those possible mistakes that you may have, all right? For example, I'm going to try to do the same now. And I'm going to try to organize this in a specific way. I'm going to ask you later on what you noticed related to what I was saying. First, this is what I can tell you. I'm going to start with the 15 seconds. Okay? In the 15 seconds, I recommend and I advise you to do the following, right? If you have 15 seconds, let's imagine, I'm not going to use perhaps that time, I will do this. All right, first I would write perhaps home, then count, then place, all right, then friend, all right, and I don't know, right? That's it. That's what I could use. All right, then 15, let's say. I didn't have more time, but I wrote 4 words that may be important for me. Why? Because I'm thinking that I'm going to use the same things that you were saying. For example, right, home. I'm not following yet the writing, let's say, advice in the terms that you shouldn't use more than 3 words and so on, right? Because here it's only for this speaking part, but you may do it if you want. I'm going to select again home. The 2 main reasons are going to be first, the one you mentioned, it's more comfortable. And the second one, that in my place, I have access to many other elements and material that I may use. Okay, I'm going to mention that. And then I write that first part because I'm going to mention one example related to a friend. And I'm going to do it in this way. Remember, this is the question. Do you prefer to study at home or in a library? Now let me start with these 2. I have 45 seconds and then get ready because we're going to learn the structure little by little and we're going to practice a lot, okay? A lot with this. It's going to be like this. I prefer to study at home because I believe that it's more comfortable. And when I am at my place, I believe I have access to more material that is important to me. First of all, talking about comfortable, right? How comfortable I feel when I'm at home and studying over there. I may use material that I want, right? In the time I want, and I can study the time also, I believe, is more comfortable for me. The place, right, is going to help me have access to certain material, books, and anything that I need immediately, even using my computer. One of my friends also believed the same, because when he got to a library and tried to do it, he couldn't do it because of the noise that it was over there. And that's why I believe that studying at home is the best option. Okay, and that's it. I just improvised that one. I repeated a lot of words and I tried to fix some mistakes, but the idea is the following, and this is what we're going to try to do together now, all right? Have one introduction in which you mention what you're going to talk about, have the development part in which you're going to give ideas and try to develop your two elements that you mentioned in the introduction, and have a short, okay, conclusion restating your option or just saying that, and that's why I believe that studying at home is the best option. All right, that's the main idea. Now we're going to go to the presentation with that attempt, and we're going to start applying certain elements that we have over here. This is a step one, and this is going to be for you, please, Majo. Read the entire slide, please.
Okay, teacher. Step one, introduce your ideas in this way. First sentence, what's your decision? Second sentence, tell one benefit of that option. Third sentence, tell another benefit of that option.
Thank you very much. Now, this is something that shouldn't take longer than 10 to, I would say 12. 15 is going to be a lot. From 10 to 12 seconds, and I'm going to write that for you over here. It's step number one, okay? 10 to 12 seconds. So in those first seconds, you should give a short introduction. And you may also mention the benefits that you're going to talk about in your development part. For example, I prefer to study at home. Let's say, let's verify that that's the topic over here. All right, yes. I prefer to study at home because I feel more comfortable and I like the idea of being in my place due to the fact that I have access to more material, let's say, okay? The material that I got. That's my idea. It may be wrong, it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter if you're saying things that are not that logical in a certain way, of course, not going to an extreme way, but if you say that you have more material at your house in comparison to a library, that might be a mistake, but it doesn't matter because in the supporting ideas, you're going to show what you mean when you say that, and it could make sense, all right? But the idea is that you have two benefits that you believe are true, all right? This is what you believe. And you have to defend and you have to support those two ideas. So, because it's more comfortable, that's the first benefit. And because being at your place, right, is going to give you access to more material, if you believe that, or you can say something else. You may say that you don't have any kind of control, right, in terms of time. Could be when you're at home, right, when you're studying at home, you can study late, right, late night. So you can say that one as well. We can change. So we may say, because it's more comfortable and because I can study late, right? And you cannot do that in a library, at least in Bolivia, I think you cannot do it. Those are the two benefits that you have to mention in the first 10 to 12 seconds. And let's see if it's possible, all right? If you want to try that one, you can say, I prefer to study at home because I believe it's more comfortable and I like to study late. And that's something I can do when I study at home. Okay, it's even less, 8 to 9 seconds, but you have up to 12 to do it. This is the introduction, all right? This is the introduction. In the next part, all right, and remember, then you are going to apply this one. We're going to work with a different question and you're going to apply this one. This is going to be from second 11 or, all right, 13 to, remember, 38 and maximum 39. And we're going to see why. All right, there you go, sorry. Okay. The reason, right, you know, this is going to take from 10 to 12 seconds. So if it's 10, from the 11th second, this is the second step. And from the 13th, if you took 12 seconds. And this is going to be actually, you have all the time for step 2 and for step 3, right? For those 2 steps. Because steps 2 and 3 are the development part. So in the first part of the development part, you have to describe the first benefits. First, you're going to restate the benefits. Then you're going to give a reason and one example if it's possible to do it. If not, this is going to be only a reason and the next one is going to be an example. Or it can be 2 reasons or 2 examples, right? But the thing is that you have to support your idea. So you may say something like, first of all, right? Or to start with, but you may use firstly, right? Firstly, as I said, it's very important because it's more comfortable to me. And then you give a reason. Because, all right, because I don't like to be surrounded by people. And sometimes it's too noisy when you go to public places. That's it. That's your reason, right? First, I will be because I feel more comfortable due to the fact that I don't like to be surrounded by people and it can get too noisy. That's your reason and that's more than enough. That's the first benefit. And the third step is the same as the second step. All right, you restate your second benefit, you give reason or you give the example. And here you can give an example, right? Secondly, I like to study late and it's impossible to do that at the library. For example, I have a friend who always goes to a library in the afternoon, but it's impossible for her to do what she wants, right? Because she always gets interrupted by some other friends that go say hello, and at the end, it's always like hard to study there. It was longer, but it's compensating because the first one, it was not that long. But remember that you have this amount of time from the 11th or the 30th second to the 38th or 39th. And we can try. Let's believe we stop there, right? And now we're going to try the next 2 steps. First, I really believe that it's more comfortable to study at home due to the fact that I don't like to be surrounded by people. It can get noisy and well, it's not possible to do it. And also, well, secondly, I believe that studying late is not possible to at a library. I like to study late. I have a friend who studies in a library and it's impossible for her to study without being interrupted. All right, so to me, it's very important to do it at home. Because of all these reasons, I believe that the best option is to study at home. Okay, and that's it. And I also did the last one, but I'm going to go to the conclusion now. But the idea is that I was able to do it and even I had extra time. So if you notice that one, and that's what we're going to practice now, you may add 1 extra reason to one of those, or you may add 1 extra example, if it's possible to do it. But I got to work on the conclusion also, and I finished at the 43rd second. But if you really notice that you have extra time, right, try to do that one before working on the conclusion, because the conclusion should start maximum in the second 39, right? Let's say to 45 maximum. That's the time that you got. And the conclusion has to be very short and precise, but the conclusion serves, all right, to realize that you are organized and that you're not finishing just like that and saying, and also because of this benefit, and that's it, okay? It means that you were not organized. In order not to do that, it's better to have a better conclusion, even if it's short, and saying something like, and that's why I believe that studying at home is the best option, right? Or because of all those reasons, I believe that studying at home is the best option, or due to all that information and blah, 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 right? So let's go again. I'm not going to show you the specifics yet. We're going to use connectors, transitional words, as Carolina was saying. But first, with this information, we're going to
So,
practice.
teacher, the
almost-
options are two, comfortable and many material, right?
Yeah, in this case, for the example, yes, Majo. For my example, those are the two reasons. right?
Okay.
Two benefits.
In my
But
example
remember,
are different.
in your example is going to be different because the question is going to be different. For example, this example is being applied to this question, Majo, because we read this question. Do you prefer to study at home or in a library? Right, that was the question. And then, yes, at the beginning I said, right, because it's more comfortable and because I have more material, right? That was my idea. It could be incorrect, it doesn't matter, it's my opinion. And if I can defend that one, it's okay, okay? As long as you have evidence in the way of supporting ideas or examples, it works very good. No one is going to verify if what you're saying is true or not. Even you can mention some statistics or something that you read in an article. As I read in this article last week, it said that it's like this and that, and period, all right? In the speaking part, no one is going to verify if your information is, all right, something that is true or not. That's not the most important part, but also don't exaggerate. Don't say illogical things that are too extreme or radical, okay? That's the opposite, and that's something else, okay? One thing is saying something to support your idea that may or may not be true, but in a certain way, it works with reality, okay? And something different is that you are saying nonsense and you are, I don't know, right? Saying things that are not possible at all. And of course, that's going to be evaluated as, well, nonsense, right? So be careful with that one. So for that example, my reasons and my benefits were the ones you mentioned, Michael. I want to study at home. I prefer to study at home because it's more comfortable and because I believe that I have more material over there. But then I changed to because it's more comfortable and because I like to study late and I cannot do that at a library, right? But now to practice this, Majo, Estefania, and Carolina, we're going to use any of these questions. I'm going to select randomly, all right? And you're going to do it and I'm going to do it as well. I'm going to select any of these questions and you're going to try, and actually this is going to be part of the recording. So please get ready, have your cell phones or something to record on, and this time please you have to upload it because today I'm going to listen here in class to your answers, but I want you to record because it's going to be different. If some of you says that in class, the other person is going to listen to that and is going to say the same as we did before, right? We were imitating and some of the words were copied and pasted. Even I was copying your ideas, right? Estefania and Carolina, I said comfortable because I heard that one and I believe that it's a good idea. In order for you to have your own ideas, you are going to record instead of giving the answer in class, okay? You're going to do that. Remember, you're going to have 45 seconds to record your answer following this structure, and you have to upload it immediately, please. I'm going to be giving you some feedback, and then I'm going to play your recordings here, all right, in class. I don't know if you have any questions about that. Again, the following is going to happen. I'm going to select any of these questions randomly. I'm going to read the question for you. First, you're going to have 15 seconds to prepare, right? Think, this is my option, this is one benefit, this is the other benefit, and this is one example of one idea. Okay, done, right? 15 seconds. In the 15 seconds, you should choose the option. You should select 2 benefits, and you should mention at least one example or the beginning of one example or one idea that you're going to mention. Okay, so 4 things are key in those 15 seconds. If you have the chance of writing more, do it. But those 4 are very important, okay? The option, the 2 benefits, and one supporting idea or one example. Not the entire example, of course, just one word, one keyword, so that you remember that example, okay? That's in the 15 seconds. Then I'm going to give you 45 seconds, all right? 45 seconds, so that you record yourselves, and remember, it's 45. If it's 46, it's incorrect, okay? It can be 44, it can be 43, it's okay, but it cannot be longer than 45. Of course, I'm going to listen to that, but remember that you cannot do that. The TOEFL, for example, right? If it stops, it stops. So 45 seconds, flat. So I'm going to use my timer, but also use your own timer, because, you know, because of the internet connection and the lag and so on, you may see that it's 44, 45, but actually you were more, right? So use your own timer, but be sure that you have 45 seconds. Finish recording and upload immediately, because I have to check that here now in class and give you my feedback. Do you have any questions about that? Let me know, please. No? All right.
teacher.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So let's apply these rules. Remember, I'm going to copy and paste this here with you. Remember that the introduction, right, shouldn't be longer than 10 to 12 seconds maximum. What is the introduction? Remember, this one. I prefer this, right? I believe that this is better. Select your option. 2 benefits. Because of this and that. 2 benefits, all right? I believe that this is better because of this and that. I prefer this because of this and that. Or you can use other expressions. I prefer this as this and that, but in a different way, right? You can use as. Or I prefer this for. You can use for to give reason. So if you know how to do it, do it. That's the first part, 10 to 12 seconds. Then you may use for the body, let's say, right? For that body, you're going to use from second 11, let's say, to 39, but I'm going to say here 38 maximum, all right? 38 to 39. The body is to work with 2 steps, right? Step number 2, your first benefit. First, as I mentioned before, being comfortable, it's important to me. You give reason because of this. For example, that's it. And then the next part of the body, the second benefit. Secondly, right, I like to study late because reason. One example. For example, my friend, for example, last week, that's it. That is the body. It should take until the second 38. It's advisable. And then the conclusion, right? And that's going to be, let's write it entirely. All right, and that's going to be from second 39 to 45. Okay, sorry. There you go. And in the conclusion, you only have to say something very simple. What is that? And that's why I believe that, right, this is the best option. Because of all those reasons, I believe that to stay at home is the best option. Due to all that information, I believe that to stay at home is the best option, right? I'm repeating the same, but I'm using different expressions at the beginning. And that's going to be your conclusion. And of course, you can add something extra if you're lacking time. That's it. Then we're going to use specific connectors and transitions. But first, I want to see how you structure all those ideas with this explanation. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. This is going to be very important for you. This is something that you should follow. Okay, introduction, 10 to 12 seconds, body 11 to the second 38, and the conclusion from 39 to the 45. Okay, then get ready, please. We're going to begin. The question is going to be, we're going to start with something not that hard, this one. This seems reasonable. I'm going to read the question and then I'm going to give you 15 seconds to prepare what you're going to say, and then you record yourselves. All right, so the question is, do you prefer to attend university classes in the morning, afternoon, or evening? Provide specific details to support your explanation. All right, so please, you have 15 seconds to think of your answer, your benefits, and one possible example or idea. Let's begin, please. 15 seconds. All right, now stop, please, and now get ready. I want to know if you're ready. Majo, are you ready to record your answer? Let me know, please.
No, teacher.
Let's get ready, please. You need something to record now, Majo. It can be anything, your cell phone, your computer, and you can just let it go, all right? Say whatever comes to your mind. Majo, it doesn't matter if you do it well or not. The idea is that you start trying and improvising with this method, okay?
Okay.
Okay, try to do it. Okay, get ready to record. What about you, Stefania? Are you ready? Do you have something to record?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. And Caro, what about you, Carolina?
Yes, teacher, I'm ready.
Okay, there you go. Again, we are never going to feel completely ready, of course, all right? And even you're in the test and you don't know what question you're going to face. And it can be about the university, it can be about something that you don't know, but you need to be ready. And that's why we're going to practice here. You're going to learn that even though you don't know anything about that topic, it's possible to give benefits because benefits are almost the same for any kind of topic. And you may say something positive about it, and it's easy without going deeper into that specific topic, all right? So that's something that you must learn. Even though that you don't know about that topic, you are, all right? You are able and capable of giving reasons, giving examples in a general way without getting so far away from the main idea. With that said, I'm going to read once again, sorry, the question, and then I'm going to give you the time. The question once again. Do you prefer to attend university classes in the morning, afternoon, or evening? Provide specific details to support your explanation. Remember this one? Okay, that one over here. Okay, there you go. Let me see where that one was. Okay, I think it got mixed up. Okay, you have the question, right? You have the question over there. I lost it, but remember, do you prefer to go to university, to attend universities in the morning, afternoon, or evening? Tell me why. This is the structure, and you have 45 seconds. Please, you can start now.
Okay, teacher. I prefer study at the morning. Teacher?
No, you have to do it yourself. You have to record it.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So we're going to start once again. And why? Because if we listen to each other, we're going to have one clue. But this time I want to see how you do it. All right. So please stop once again. We're going to start one more time. You have 45 seconds. Record it by yourself. And then you have to upload it to Google Classroom. And in that way, with your recordings over there, I'm going to listen to all of them so that I see what you were able to do by yourselves. All right. So one more time. Let's begin once again. You have all of you, right? You have 45 seconds, and let's begin once again now, please. All right, it's time. Let's stop, please. And you can upload that to Google Classroom. Let's do it now. As I told you, it's very important to do it now because I'm going to play right now your answers, all right, your recordings. I have to play all of your recordings, Majo, Estefania, and Carolina, so please upload them. I'm going to be checking if you were able to do it, all right, so that we can go to the next part. It's important to see how you're doing, all right? It's very important to see how you're doing. Then we can add some extra things to make it even better. Upload this in the third week, please. Okay, remember, this is part of the third week. So go to week 3, and I'm going to start checking. Good, I have Carolina's one. Do it yourselves also, please, Estefania and Majo, and then we're going to add Melanie to the activity. But first, I'm going to start with you then, Carolina. I have your recording over here. I'm going to play it. I'm going to be giving you my feedback first, all right, specific feedback, and then in general. So let's listen to your recording.
Well, I prefer to attend classes in the morning at university or in the school. I feel this way for 2 reasons.
Okay, good. Now, again, I'm going to, there are many ways to approach this, Carolina, I know. And you may do it in this way, and it's perfect. This way that I'm showing you, it's one way that I learned, and it's the way that some people that got more than 110 used, okay? So this is one method that you may use if you want to get 110 and more in the TOEFL, all right? Other methods, of course, are also going to work if you want to get 110, 115, even 120. Okay, you can get that with different methods, of course. But we're going to try to use this one just because we're going to use these parameters with everybody, all right? So again, I think your introduction is very, very well, but to apply this specific strategy, Carolina, then again, you can use a different one, but for this one in specific, it's important to mention before those 11 seconds, all right, before even those 13 seconds or 12 as maximum, to mention, just mention the 2 benefits. And then you're going to restate the way you mention those benefits or reasons, right? Because again, we have a very good introduction with the option that you decided, that you selected, and then you mentioned that you're going to have 2 main reasons, but we don't mention those, all right? So again, in the next one, we're going to try to mention those briefly, only briefly as part of the introduction. So let's go once again.
Well, I prefer to attend classes in the morning at university or in the school. I feel this way for 2 reasons.
All right, so there, right? You can say, and even you can omit that the university and at school, and you may say only the answer, that's going to be more than enough, and use that time to mention those reasons, right? And you may say, I prefer to attend. If you're in school, say school. If you're at university, say university. I prefer to attend university in the morning because of this and that, right? That should be part of your introduction. Then.
First of all, I believe it's better to attend classes in the morning because if you finish your classes in the morning, you can have the rest of the day in other activities.
Okay, good. Just the expression, right? You can use or you can spend the rest of the time, right? It will be better. But it's good. I think it's a very good reason. You may spend the rest of the time, right, in other different activities or in other activities. Very good. It's very good. I think it's very well supported. Again, my only observation in the structure so far is the introduction. All right, 26 seconds. I think we're doing very good.
Then I think that it's better to pass classes in the morning because people are more active in that hour.
Okay, okay. Instead of hour, because if you call hour to in the morning, it's going to be like not correct. people are more active, right, in that period of time or at that moment of the day, right? At that moment of the day or in that period of time. But again, it's also a very good reason. You spend more time for this one. Perhaps we're lacking a little bit more of that information, but good. You have two benefits and you have two reasons. That's the minimum we need. So it's okay. And it's the second 38. So I think we're doing good on that one.
After lunch, usually we feel more tired.
Okay, good. And you're complementing that one. So it's perfect. The only thing we're going to try to do is try to get that a little bit before the second 40, but it's not bad to have in 41. I think it's very good. You're complementing that information, but let's listen once again to the expressions.
After lunch, usually we feel more tired.
Okay, good. Tired. Very good. We feel more tired. Great.
That's in my personal case, but I think most people feel the same.
Okay, good. Then, and my last recommendation would be try to have that before, right? The second 41, or as I was saying, 40 or 39, 40, let's say that's the top, so that you have your last and final conclusion, right? Because that's going to be very important. That's going to make, and that, yes, that's going to make notice, right? The examiner that you were able to organize all those ideas in a short period of time. It means that you know very well how to organize your ideas in English, right? So it was missing one conclusion. So my two big things over here. First, in the introduction, try to use also try to mention the two reasons, the two benefits you're going to talk about, all right? I prefer this because of this and that. In the development, it was very good. Try to use some of that time to give some extra information, all right? But before the second 40 and after the second 40 or 41, let's try to work only in the conclusion to have everything done, all right? But the rest of it, I think it's very good and the organization is great, Carolina. I don't know if you have any comments or questions related to this. Let me know, please.
No, teacher, it's okay. Thank you so much. I will fix it for the next time.
Okay, very good. Again, right, we're learning while we are doing it. That's the best way of do that. Great. Now, let's see if we have more. I have yours here, Stefania. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to listen to it and we're going to see how it goes. We're going to work with 2, 3 more, but the thing is that today and Wednesday is going to be to master this kind of structure. All right, so that you need to be able to organize your ideas for a 45-second speech that is going to be very useful, not only for the TOEFL, but for other international tests and for your speaking skills itself. All right, let's play yours.
Prefer to attend classes in the morning because we have a lot of time to do other activities.
Okay, good. Again, my own observation over there is that we are only mentioning one specific reason or benefit. All right, but it's good. So far it's good, just lacking one benefit.
Like I was saying, the morning.
In that one, remember, when you're going to refer back to something, don't use like. Like is going to be something to show similarity. For some examples, it's better if you use as, right? As I was saying, right? As I was saying.
Is the part of the day that pass faster.
Okay, good. And also in the other one, I didn't mention before continuing with you, Stephanie, and something I'm going to mention here. You were using some connectors and they were working very well, Carolina. All right, so that's something we need to do here. That is a transitional word and it's very good, as I mentioned, but it's a better idea if you use one of those sequence transition words, right? As first of all, or to begin with, right? And then if you want for extra information, right, as an interrupter, you may say, right? First of all, as I mentioned before, as I already mentioned, this, and that, right? So try to use a different connector before that expression. Then you are referring back to that one, and it's good.
And that permits you to do other activities, your homework, your, I don't know, to go to the gym, go.
Okay, good. You're giving more examples, but remember, so far we're only with one reason, and it's good, but it's not going to be enough. Again, because of the way the TOEFL is structured and sometimes what examiners expect, they sometimes expect at least more than one reason, more than one benefit, because you were able to think of that in a short period of time, and it means you are thinking in English, all right? Again, it's very well, but everything is just around that one big reason, that is time, only time.
Have a lunch with your friends, with your family, and
All right,
that
it's
is
time.
why I prefer
Let
to
us stop,
attend classes in the morning.
And you can. Okay, good. You finished before, right? Because again, I'm going to try to give you more time, but you need to stop when you see 45. Okay, here I'm going to have my own timer. I'm going to stop here, but I'm going to wait 10 more seconds because I know that sometimes you start afterwards, right? I'm going to wait 10 more seconds, but you have to be aware that you only need to use 45, right? Okay, so that's my observation in general, Stefania. Now, because I interrupted you, right? I know it was because of that. You were not able to finish. You had 4 more seconds. And I believe that in that time, you were able to work on your introduction. But that's the thing that is missing. First, in your introduction, try to mention one more benefit. In the development, you have to talk about those 2 benefits, and then to have an introduction that was missing because of my interruption. But that's my feedback in general, Stefania. Do you have any questions or comments? Let me know, please.
No, teacher. Thank you. My first audio was deleted. So
Yeah,
that I couldn't finish on time. Sorry.
don't worry. It's very good. Again, this is the beginning. We're just starting practicing. For the next one, try to apply all these ones. And the next one is going to be now. Okay, after I finish with one more, we have only one more. We're going to record the second question. I don't see, let me see. I don't see yours, Majo. Majo, were you able to upload your recording?
Yes, teacher, I upload.
Is it here in 3rd week, or did you upload it in a different week? Because it's not here.
No, teacher, is in the 3rd week. I'm going to check, please.
Okay, yes, because I see here it's Carolina's, right, and Estefania's, and I'm refreshing the web page, but it's not here yours. Perhaps you uploaded in a different week or in a different section or in the oral presentation, perhaps. Let me see. No.
Okay, please.
Over here, I think it's here, but I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Here are some grades, all right, and I think that's private. So let me check. It must be here in 2nd week. Let's see. No, it's only 5. It's only 5 here also in 2nd week, Majo. So it's not here neither. Try to upload it once again, or try to check that once again, please, Majo, because it's not in the 2nd week neither. And the oral presentation, let's see. No, it's not here. Try to check, please, Majo. I cannot find it. It's not in the 2nd week. It's not in the 3rd week. All right. I'm going once again to the 3rd week.
Teacher.
So I'm sharing again. I looked for it in the other sections and units, but it was not there, Majo. Were you able to find it?
Yes, teacher, is in the 3rd week.
It's weird. It's not loading. As you can see here, I can see Carolina's. Try to turn in. Did you turn in your assignment? Try to do it, and then you can unsubmit your recording to upload the other activities as well. because it's not loading. As you can see on my screen, it's not here. There is Carol. This is Estefania's. Then no other recording is here. All right, try to take a look at that, please, Majo. Try to upload one more time. Try to submit, turn in and submit that assignment with that only recording, and then you can unsubmit to upload the next activities we're going to have. Okay, try to do it. I'm going to continue in the meantime because again,
Okay, teacher. It's in my third oral presentation.
Okay. That must be then. I checked also that one, but perhaps I made a mistake. Yes, it's here. Okay, so you need to change, please, this one, Majo.
Okay, okay, teacher, sorry.
In the in-class activities, all right, but it's okay. The thing here, it's only listening. But to evaluate that one for Friday, try to take this one to the in-class activities, right? But it's good. Let's check.
I prefer attend or take classes in the morning because I think it was more advantage to study in the morning than in the afternoon or at the night.
Okay, up to that part.
Because it is the ideal.
Sorry. Okay, good. So we were 2nd, 13, 11, right? So you have your introduction. That's positive. You have your introduction and it's very good. My big advice here is do not mention some words that are not going to be needed because you're going to need that time to say something else. All right, right now, perhaps we were paraphrasing, it's good, but I think it's not necessary to say in the afternoon or at night, right? If you're not going to say something very specific related to that. You said that it has more advantages, but instead of saying that is not precise, this is for the next one, try to say 2 of those advantages. All right, what are some of those advantages that you are mentioning in comparison to the afternoon and in comparison to the evening, right? You may say, as for example, one of your partners was saying, because during this time you are more active. So you can say that, right? I prefer to study in the morning because I feel more active in the morning and because I have more extra or more free time. Those can be 2 advantages, right? So let's try to do that one in the first 11 seconds.
Okay, so teacher, in my intro, there has 2 benefits.
Yes, and you have to mention very specifically 2 benefits.
Okay, so in my intro, in my first 15 seconds.
In your first 12 seconds maximum. All right, in your first 12 seconds, 10 to 12 seconds, you need to mention that. You need to mention your decision. I prefer to study in the morning, and you need to tell me 2 benefits. Because I feel more active, more energetic, and because of, I don't know, any other reason that you want, right? Because I have more free time. That has to be in the first 10 to 12 seconds. All right, but again, it's good. It's just that you were not very specific. That's something that is lacking there, but we're doing good with the introduction. Just that specification.
Afternoon or at the night.
Right, and this one, if you want to say at night, only at night, without the article there.
Because it is the ideal time for a student.
Good. This is a very good reason. And before doing that, Majo, again, this is a very good reason, the ideal time for a student, great. But after you mention in your first 11 seconds your decision and your 2 benefits, you have to make me notice that now this is part of your development, okay? And you have to say, first of all, or to start with, or to begin, I'm going to talk about this, or to begin, it's very important to know that this is the ideal time, right, for a student to do this and that, right? So you need to make that connection and also that division between the introduction and the development, all right? So at the same time, it's going to be a connection, and at the same time, it's going to be a way to divide both ideas, because it's going to be clear for me that now you're going to explain, all right? So good reasons, but you have to connect those 2 in a different way.
Because the brain is more awake and the level of stress is lower.
Okay, again, these are very, very good reasons. Okay, you have very good information. It's only the way it's structured. what I said before. So far, it's very good, your explanation.
In the morning, we have more energy than in the afternoon or
very good as well. So part, it's like you have two possible benefits, Majo. You said that is the ideal time. But why? I imagine that you're saying that it's the ideal time because of the reasons you're giving now, right? Because you're more energetic, you're more active. So that's one benefit. So you should be aware that in the next presentation, well, the next practice, you have to develop part as the first part of your body, right? So you can say, first of all, as I mentioned before, it's the best time because we are with more energy and we are more active. That's why students, right, work better in the morning. That's one part.
at the night. And also, I do in
I don't know what happened. Let me refresh this one. But again, it's very good, but I understand that as one benefit. Okay, so all in all, we have one benefit so far.
because the brain is more awake and the level of stress is lower. In the morning, we have more energy than in the afternoon or at the night. And also,
okay, good. Remember that in the afternoon or at night or in the evening if you want.
I do not interrupt my sleep schedule.
Okay, I don't interrupt my, I don't get that word. Was it schedule, my sleep schedule, or what was that word? Schedule, right? Okay.
So that's why I choose this option.
That one is good. You can use present. It's not incorrect if you say that's why I choose in general. But if it's as it's part of one decision, one-time decision for the test, it's better if you use simple past. All right, and that's why I chose that option. All right, instead of choose.
Because it was more benefits than
instead of was, right? It has more benefits than the others. Okay, it's very good. You have your conclusion. That's something I think your partners were lacking, but you have your conclusion, and that's very positive, Majo. All right. So again, my big advice for you in your introduction, mention the decision and two benefits. And in your development, you have to develop those two benefits. Here, I feel that you were only talking about one benefit in general, because that moment of the day was better because our brain is more active, right? And so on and so forth. That's one benefit. So you need one more benefit that is different to that one to complement that idea, and then give me the conclusion as you did it, right? That's why I chose this one, and because it's the best one, right? And it's better than the other options. That's it. I don't know if you have any comments or observations, questions, Marco, let me know.
No, anything, teacher. Thank you for your observations.
Great. No, thank you. Good. I think you did it great. Now we're going to work one more time, and this time we're going to have also Melanie with us. I know that Melanie, you know this type of working, right? This way of working here. It's the TOEFL way. We are using these questions over here, and it's going to be the same. Let me remind you once again so that we can record one more time. I'm going to choose any of these questions. You're going to have 15 seconds to think of your decision, your two benefits or reasons, and one important example or one important idea. And if you can write more, do it. But that's 15 minutes and that's advisable. Then I'm going to read the question. Yes, I'm going to read the question once again. All right, once again. Let me do it that way. Good. And I'm going to give you 45 seconds, right? I'm going to give you 45 seconds so that you can record following this structure. But this time I'm going to give you more elements to work in the last one. All right. You're going to help me out with this first, please, Melanie. Let's read tips and let's read all the slides, please.
Okay. Tips. First step one, try to use transitions words and phrases like for, because, as, since, to get the reason with the two benefits. And additionally, besides, also to add the second benefit. For step 2 and 3, use transitions words and phrases like Firstly, to start with, to commence, to introduce the first benefit. Secondly, afterwards, following to that, moreover, to continue, to introduce the second benefit. Because, for, as, since, to give a reason. For example, as a matter of fact, in fact, to illustrate, to mention the example or the fact.
Thank you very much, Melanie. So this is very important for you to structure your ideas in an even more formal and logical way. Remember, as I was saying, right, you need to make notice the listener that this was your introduction, and then you're going to develop that, and finally you're going to finish that up. And how you make that notice is by using transitional words and phrases, by using connectors, right? You did it in writing. Now you have to do it here in speaking as well. So introduction, right? I prefer to study in the morning since, right? You don't have to use because all the time. You can use since this is the best time, right, for us to do activities. Also, right, you don't use all and all the time. You can use also. Also, right, and what other benefit could be to study in the morning? You said that you are more active, more energetic. Also, because we have free time during this period of time. All right, let's say those are my two benefits, but I'm using different words, right? I prefer this, since, this, also, that, instead of using because and, right? That's something that you can do. And in the TOEFL, it's important to use different words. Try to avoid the usage of because, of and, if you want to show that you have some extra vocabulary, but don't overdo it. If you overdo it, of course, it's also going to be weird that you're using other words and different words all the time, but they are too different, and synonyms that are not common and are weird, and they sound weird, all right? So be careful, use different words, different vocabulary, but don't overuse that way of working. Then, to start with something, firstly, as I mentioned before, we are more active and energetic during this period of time. For example, right, my friend likes to do all his activities at this time because he feels the need of doing something. That's what he says. That's one. If you want to give the second benefit, you say secondly, or second, or afterwards, or following to that, or moreover, right? And we said most people have free time during this period of time. So it's the best time, right, to take advantage and do this and that. And that's it. In the first one, I gave reason, and then I gave, right, some ideas. So following and using these tips, you may use these ones. I'm not going to make you use yet. That's going to be for Wednesday, but you can use some of that information. Let's get ready, please. Majo, Stefania, Carolina, Melanie. I'm going to select the question now. All right, and remember to use these parameters. The introduction, 10 to 12 seconds. You have to show the decision and two benefits. The body, from the second 11th to the second 38 or 39, maximum 40, to explain those two benefits or reasons. And the conclusion should be from the second 39 or 40 to 45 maximum. Of course, you can use extra time for the body if you want, but you need to be sure to have time for the conclusion. Do you have any questions before working on this one activity? Let me know, please. All right, so let's begin. Again, it's not going to be a hard one. Let me look for something that is going to be, let's say, okay. This one, all right? This is something that we can apply here to Bolivia. 14. This is the question. It is much better to purchase, right, a new car instead of a used one. In your opinion, is this a good idea? Why or why not? Provide supporting details. In other words, you have to tell me, new cars or used cars? Which one is better? Okay, so you have 15 seconds to write your decision, your benefits, and one important idea or example. Let's begin now, please. Think. Okay, it's time. So I'm going to read this once again. It is much better to purchase a new car instead of a used one. In your opinion, is this a good idea? Why or why not? Provide supporting details in your response. Use the same structure. Okay, so again, I'm not going to interrupt after the 45 seconds, but remember, only record 45 seconds. I'm going to be quiet 10 extra seconds so that you can finish. All right, but then I'm going to start speaking. So please get ready. You have 45 seconds to give this answer. You may start now, please. Okay, let's stop, please. Well, it was 45 seconds. Upload it. All right, remember, it is in third week in class activities. All right, all your recordings have to be there. Okay, so let me do this. And we're going to go there.
Sorry, teacher, could you give me a few seconds to upload the recording? My internet is a little slow, please.
Okay, don't worry. Don't worry,
Thank you,
Caro, please.
teacher.
When you can do it. Okay, don't worry. Good, you're welcome. So I'm going to see. Please remember, it's important, very important to do it now.
Teacher, how do you say concesionaria in English?
How do you say that one? I don't remember that word, Majo. I have to check that word. All right, I don't remember. I'm going to check and I'm going to tell you, but I don't remember how to say that one.
Okay, please.
Okay, good, don't worry. Okay, so in class activities, let's check. All right, it's not here yet. I would like to start with you, please, Melanie. So if you have it ready, try to upload it this time. So I start with you, and then the rest of the time until 9:25, I'm going to check some of your partners. The rest of it is going to be for Wednesday, and on Wednesday we're going to continue. Okay, remember it's third week, right? The third unit. Be careful with the other units. All right, you don't have yours yet. Try to do it, please.
After, I'm going to change the name, okay?
Don't worry, don't worry. Now it's just to listen, and then you're going to make the changes that you consider necessary. Great.
It's done.
Very good. Thank you. Now, again, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to give you specific feedback related to some examples, could be related to, well, specific details, and also in general in terms of the structure. All right, so let's begin.
I totally agree with the idea to buy a new
Okay, so
car.
you can listen to this, right? Let me know if you can listen to this audio.
Yes, yes, I can.
Oh, okay, very good.
I totally agree with the idea to buy a new car instead of a used one because you can't avoid to fix all the time, and also the feeling that you have is going to be better. So
Okay, good, good. Now my first feedback over there, great. You were on time. Actually, you finished exactly second 13, going to 14, but I think it works. Some people say it can go to the second 15, the introduction. So I think we're working very good. It's just that in the first time, or sorry, in the first part, if you want to save some time and perhaps have more time to give explanation, reasons, and example, that's why it's better to finish the 10th, okay, in the 10th second. And how do we do that? As the question is clear over there, we don't need actually to mention all the other options that we have, even if it's only one, all right? So you may go straight to the point to save some time and to have extra time to have more supporting details and ideas, all right? Because again, we are good, but almost in second 15, we are already starting with the developing, but it could have started before, just to be more efficient, all right? So it was good, but in the first time, for example, this part, let me see.
I totally agree with the idea to buy a new car instead of a used one.
Okay,
because
so if the question is to agree or not agree with that one, you may only say, I agree with the idea, right, of buying or to buy a new car, or the opposite, right? And that could be more than enough because of this and that, right? The part of instead of or any other extra information may be left aside because it's going to be all right understood because of the context and the question, and it's going to be clear, all right? Just to try to use extra time for explanation, for the development, examples, and so on.
you can't avoid to fix all the time, and also the feeling that you have is going to be better.
Those are the two benefits, and now you're developing those ones.
To start off, you can't avoid this type of fixes for a long time because it's a new car, so everything there is new.
Okay, good. So you're supporting. Again, it doesn't matter how depth the information or the idea is going to be. The idea is that it's logic and it's connecting and it supports. It keeps reason, right? Because it is new, of course, it's not going to have a lot of problems, right? You're not going to take, or you're not going to need to take it to the mechanic. Could be, all right.
I don't know, for example, the doors maybe and everything, if it's something automatic, you don't need to be all the time in the mechanic.
Okay, in that one, right, as I mentioned. So good. Again, I will try to look for efficiency over there, which is good. But if you realize it was only the first one, all right, it was only the first, and that's what I was telling you in the introduction. It's better to finish in the 10th second as maximum. Well, I said 12, even 15, but that's only if we don't have any more choice. But here it's the second 36, and we only worked in the first one. All right, so we need to balance a little bit that out. Then
also, because the feeling if you buy your car alone is going to be better. You're going to feel great.
I'm there, right? So again, I think it's very good what you got. However, it was time management a little bit that is lacking, all right? Time management and the balance between the information that you're giving, all right? So all in all, my advice is to try to finish before the 12th second. 10, it's advisable, the introduction. Don't mention the other options if it's not necessary, all right? I agree with doing this. That's it, because of this and that, right? That's it, 10 seconds. Then start with these ones. as you have, let's say from the 10th or 11th second, right? 20, 30, let's say, right? So try to spend from 12, 13, maximum 15 seconds on that one. So in the second 25th, all right, you should be changing to the other explanation. And from the 25th to the 40 maximum, right, 39, but let's say 40, that's going to be the second one. And finally, you have the conclusion in 5 seconds, right? So we're going to try to do that with you now until second 25, all right, the 25th second, second 25, the first explanation, the first reasons and examples for the first benefit, and the next 15 seconds until the 40, more or less, for the second one, and the last 5 seconds for the conclusion. Just that one, right? Because here it was missing that one, and the second benefit was not developed in a different way than the way you mentioned in the introduction. I don't know if you have any comments or a question related to this, Melanie. Let me know, please.
No, all good, Luis. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good. And again, on Wednesday, I know that it's time, so please, Carol, I'm going to check yours. On Wednesday, we are going to apply that rule as well. We have this one. That is the first approach. We're doing this little by little. On Wednesday, we are going to use a more specific time. I'm going to make you have the introduction in 10 seconds. We're going to divide the body in 2 parts. The first one is going to be from second 11th to 25th, right? And the second part from the second 26th to 40 maximum. And then you're going to have 5 seconds to give the conclusion. Plus, you're going to use specific words that I'm going to select for you. So I'm going to tell you, for example, Majo, you're going to use since. Additionally, you're going to use to commence, afterwards, and in fact, right? And then you're going to use this, and that, because you have more for the conclusion as well. Do you have any questions before finishing this session? This is the first part. The second part on Wednesday is going to be to master this and to improve our time management, to have those 45 seconds in the more efficient way possible. Any questions or comments? Let me know, please. Carolina, let me know, what questions or comments do you have?
Sorry, teacher, it's out of the topic. I will have an emergency trip on Friday, so I will not able to give the presentation. I was wondering if we could reschedule it for the week, please, teacher. At the same time, I'm going to make a letter for permission. Maybe I could be present in the class, but I think I couldn't share the screen and the rest. So
Okay.
I don't know if we could reschedule the exposition, please.
Yeah, as I said, this happened right the first week with Melanie. We're going to do the same, please, Carolina. First, yes, if you contact management and you have that approved, that's good. All right, so management is the first step. Then, as you're telling me that days before Friday, it's okay. Why? Because you're going to have your presentation on Thursday. Okay, if everything is okay with management and they approve that one, your presentation is going to be on Thursday, Carolina, before this Friday, all right, the day before, on Thursday. But then you need to watch Friday's class, as I did with Melanie, so that you can check and watch your partner's presentations and ask them questions. And you're going to record those questions as you are doing now, and you're going to upload it next to your PPT presentation. That's going to be the way we're going to work. And of course, in the conversation, that's going to be for your presentation. And I'm going to be the one who's going to ask you the 3 questions. Either it's going to be at that specific moment, or later on, as I did with Melanie, I'm going to send you those 3 questions. And again, you have to answer back. If it's at that moment, no problem. If it's later on, you need to record the answers, and you need to upload them 2 recordings. 1 recording with the questions to your partners, 3 minimum, and one recording with the answers to the questions that I'm going to ask. But that's more or less the way we can work, Carolina. I don't know if you have any questions related to that.
No, teacher, it's okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to prepare the letter.
Okay, perfect. Thank you again. Everything depends on management. And as you're telling me before, we can do that before, because rescheduling that for later on is going to be very hard because we need to cover one more test and we're not going to have the time to do it. Okay, so let's do it that way, please, Carolina. And all of you also, Majo, Estefania, Melanie, you know that when I told you, as long as you tell me before that day, right? Of course, if it's an emergency, it's different. But if you tell me before that day, if you contact management, and if we get to have the presentation before that day, there is no problem, all right? There isn't any problem with that one. That's it. Please, today we have a different special as every midterm survey with one extra question. Let's fill that out, please, and we finish the class. Then other recordings are going to be checked and listened, all right, in Wednesday. That's it. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow for the listening session. Take care. Good night.
Good night, teacher. Thank you.
Bye, teacher. See you tomorrow.
Bye bye.
Sure.
See you. Bye bye. Take care.